After purchasing licenses for your customers through your distributor of choice, those customers will automatically be added to Elements and assigned the solutions that you purchased the licenses for. Once that's happened, at some point you will need to start those services, and you can do this a few different ways. First, when you log into Elements for Partners, over on the left, if you go to the customer directory, you'll be able to see the status of those particular services. There are 3 ways to start the service. First, you could click on the email address listed under Registered Account, which will log you into that customer's AvePoint Online Services tenant. This is the most manual way to get a service started, but it is also the way that gives you the most options. You can come in here and you can walk through this wizard to make sure that the license agreement is accepted. You can configure dynamic object registration directly, either as an express profile or as one or multiple advanced profiles to pick and choose what it is you're looking for in Office 365. And you have direct access to setting up the AvePoint Online Services app as it talks to Office 365, and one or more service accounts, which are also required for certain actions. This can either be done in the Startup wizard, or it can be done manually using the options down the left-hand side. Once that's all complete, you'll be able to access the service here directly on the Home tab of the customer's AvePoint Online Services tenant, and then configure the actual service itself to run. Back in Elements for Partners, the second way is to go directly to the service itself. It is not recommended that you do that until you configure things like dynamic object registration and the app profile. If you do click that first, accept the license agreement for that particular service, you'll run into this warning box for cloud backup, or similarly not be able to proceed in other services because without dynamic object registration, without the app profile, without the service account, AvePoint Online Services and its services that it's running for you are not able to actually talk to the client's Office 365 tenant. If I go back to Elements for Partners, the third method, which is actually the best one to employ if you don't need to do a lot of custom dynamic object registration work and set up advanced profiles, is to select the customer and up at the top, click on Start Service. In this way, I don't have to go into the customer's AOS tenant. I don't have to go directly into the service itself. These configurations here are designed to allow you to set this up and kick it off from the Elements for Partners portal. You'll notice the first thing it wants is dynamic object registration, and it says Start Now. If I click that, it will configure an express dynamic object registration profile, which means it will talk to Office 365 and catalog all SharePoint Online site collections, Exchange mailboxes, and other types of objects like teams and groups. You cannot configure advanced DOR profiles here because you're just trying to kick it off and get it running as simply as possible. So I'm going to click Start Now. We can see the status has changed to processing. Right now, Elements Portal for Partners is talking to the customer's AOS tenant, configuring an express dynamic object registration profile, and actually cataloging all those Office 365 objects. To check on the status, you can actually click directly on it, and we can see that the job is still processing. Now that that job has finished, if we scroll down, we can actually kick off the backups. Notice again, I'm not picking and choosing between the different scopes here, because this entire point is to get this up and running as easily as possible. So we did an express dynamic object registration job, and now we're going to back up all objects. If this was not your intention, then you would want to go through the methods we looked at before. You'll want to click on the registered account for that customer, configure dynamic object registration, configure the app profile and the service account, and then go into the service directly and continue to configure it as you need to. In this case though, I am looking to back everything up, so I will click on Start Now. And now we can see that that job is processing. And once it has finished processing the first backup job, this will change to Started. Thank you for watching this short video on how to configure customer services in Elements Portal for Partners.